Welcome to Notepad. I'm your host, Ibrahim Sani. It is, of course, at the turn of the year, 2021. We're saying goodbye to it. Now we're saying hello to 2022. Because of this, there's a lot of theme that has happened over the years. And of course, we want to look into what 2022 has in store for us. Right now on the line, we have Nunzio Mirtillo, the head of market area for Southeast Asia, Oceania, and India. For Ericsson, and of course Ericsson is a key component into how we need to look at Malaysia when it comes to business and tech. How are you, Nunzio? Maybe you can start off with telling us a little bit more about Ericsson's presence in Malaysia in contrast with the other areas that you're operating in Southeast Asia as well as Oceania and India. Nunzio.
Thank you. No, Ericsson has been in Malaysia since 1965, and we have been an integral part of Malaysia's telecom journey. So bringing to the country every generation of mobile technology from 2G to now 5G. And obviously, we are delighted to partner with the Digital Nasional Berhad, DNB, to bring a world-class 5G experience to consumers and enterprises in Malaysia.
It's interesting that you mentioned DNB and the work that you are doing here. Of course, 5G is going to be a key component into 2022. We've seen how the 5G rollout in Malaysia has reached some parts. Some telcos, including that of YTL, is also on board on this. Do you feel that the pressure is on in terms of trying to grow the business of Ericsson in Malaysia, but at the same time to deliver what is needed for the country, which is 5G network?
Yes, of course. And I think by now, Ericsson we are powering 105 live 5G networks globally, which is more than 50% of the live 5G networks. And by the end of this year, we estimate there will be more than 660 million subscriptions globally. I mean, we are a technological company, an high-tech company. So we invest in R&D, and this year we invest $4.4 billion US, and obviously our main focus is 5G.
Nunzio, maybe you can share with us a little bit more about how that element of introducing 5G in different parts across the globe. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about the 5G focus and 5G adoption in Malaysia in contrast with other parts of the world.
Yeah, I think I was coming to that point. I think 5G is expected to be faster than any of other previous technology. And we see that 5G is on track to become the mobile access technology by subscription globally. And in 2027, 50% of all mobile subscriptions will be 5G worldwide. And so covering 75% of the world population and carrying 62% of the global smartphone traffic, while in Malaysia, the program from the government and DNB is to cover 80% of the population already in 2024, so well ahead of the global average.
I want to ask you about how you see 5G benefiting Malaysia, particularly when it comes to 2022, and of course you stretch this over the timeline over a few years. How do you see 5G benefiting Malaysia?
Yeah, I think, as we know, 5G is transforming the world, and it will open up new possibilities for people and business in Malaysia as well. So given that 5G is significantly faster, has ultra low latency, offers obviously larger network capacity, at the same time being secure and also more reliable, it will speed up the digital transformation of Malaysia and enable the country to embrace Industry 4.0. Also, it will play a very important role when it comes to digital and financial inclusion. For example, in our case with DNB, obviously we will leverage on an enabling technology called fixed wireless access that will allow consumers in a remote area of the country to get access to a 5G network, having an efficient, convenient, and competitive connection, which is a great alternative to fiber. And this, we believe, is extremely important for the digital divide and to reach everyone in Malaysia, also in rural areas or remote regions, in all remote regions.
You mentioned that Ericsson has been around in Malaysia since the 60s. You've seen the transition between 2G to 3G, 3G to 4G, and now 4G to 5G. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some form of changes that Malaysians can expect, the transition period included. What kind of changes can Malaysians expect from 5G?
I mean, you are right, obviously. I mean, first of all, we start with a substantial increase of the mobile data traffic capacity. And this is very much needed because in Malaysia, you see that the uptake of demand of mobile data is continuously growing. And so you need much more capacity going forward so that the country stay competitive. On top of that, for consumers, 5G will open up new opportunities. For example, in healthcare, we will see a lot around immersive entertainment with augmented reality and virtual reality, cloud gaming, and much more. So Malaysians will be able to experience a new digital lifestyle with 5G. On top, we have the business, and 5G will enable businesses to embrace Industry 4.0. And so, together with the consumer segment, speed up the digital transformation of the country. And as I mentioned before, I think it will also provide the benefit of high-speed and reliable connectivity to suburban and rural areas via our fixed wireless access solution. Our goal together with DNB is to, and that's obvious, right, is we will make sure that we will deliver a 5G world-class experience to the Malaysian consumers, right, and to the businesses. And we believe that DNB is, not we believe, they have a fantastic spectrum to deliver a super great network that will enable all MNO to provide consumers with blazing 5G speeds and an enhanced network experience. I think also that the rollout that the DNB and Ericsson will provide to Malaysia, meaning the rollout of the 5G network, will provide an ability to leapfrog ahead in the region and so enable the country to achieve its objectives of transforming into a digital economy. And obviously, I mean, the faster people and business are able to access the intelligent, robust, and energy-efficient 5G network in Malaysia, then the sooner they can enjoy the benefit of 5G. So I think that the government and DNB accelerated target of approximately 80% coverage in populated areas by the end of 2024 is a very commendable plan. It's actually very good, spot on.
Nunzio, let's talk a little bit more about Digital Nasional Berhad. Your conversation with them have been quite extensive. We've heard a lot from DNB themselves. Maybe you can share us your thoughts about DNB and their network, i.e. Digital Nasional Berhad's network.
I think when it comes to the network and DNB, right? I mean, first of all, what is super important is that to think about how 5G can be a success in Malaysia, right? I think there are few key enablers that need to be put in place, and which obviously we are working together with DNB. One is the speed up of the network rollout, so that we make sure that we are fast to deliver a 5G network in Malaysia. The second one is affordability. Network and the service needs to be affordable. The third is the customer experience, and obviously the network has to be secure. And then you also need to have a thriving ecosystem. And this is exactly what the DNB will be delivering together with Ericsson. And I also think that now, after a few months of working together, DNB and the Ericsson teams have honestly done a fantastic work on ground. They have been able to launch 5G in Malaysia in less than 6 months, from the contract being awarded, right? And this is one of the fastest 5G launch program I have seen. So 5G is already now available in parts of Putrajaya and Saberjaya and obviously Kuala Lumpur. Affordability, as I mentioned before, is also extremely important, and DNB is obviously focusing on that, and this has been one of the selection criteria. And so together with DNB, we are delivering a 5G network where the cost per gigabit is obviously affordable and lower than 4G. And at the same time, while we kind of reduce the cost per gigabit delivered, we are also improving the customer experience. And why that? Why is that possible? That is possible because of the 5G technology as such, because of the spectrum that the DNB has, and obviously because of the maturity of our technology and also our global experience, as we have already delivered more than 100 5G live network. I think it's also important to understand that when it comes to affordability, we have been leveraging also on a solution that we call multi-operator core network, MOC, which basically gives the possibility to all 6 operators simultaneously to access the 5G network and at the same time still being connected to their own core network so that they can differentiate. And then, as I did mention before, I think we are really super committed so that we help DNB and Malaysia to build and drive an ecosystem that will obviously continue to invest on 5G and so develop new use cases which are specific for Malaysia. And because of that, we are continuously working with all MNOs and academia and vendor to build this ecosystem so that Malaysia can be on the forefront of the innovation when it comes to 5G use cases.
Yeah, you've touched a lot about Ericsson's commitment to Malaysia, but I want to ask you a little bit more about what your company wants to do in Malaysia over the next few years, if not the next few decades. What would be some of the big ideas, other than the fact that you've shared earlier just now, on your commitment to Malaysia?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we are super committed. I mean, we want to be a great citizen in Malaysia. I think now when it comes to short term, for example, we are now rolling out 5G and we are using and partnering with our local contractors. And we are obviously hiring more Malaysians as part of this project. So we have been working with our existing vendors and contractors while we are developing a pipeline so that we can continue to bring on more as we progress the 5G rollout in the coming years. And what are our local partners doing right now for us? I mean, they are helping us in areas like network installation and rollout, network optimization, and obviously site solutions. We are, as I mentioned before, also nurturing a strong ecosystem that will accelerate and support the development of innovative new 5G use cases and services. And that will be obviously an enabler component for the digital transformation of Malaysia economy. I mean, we are eager to contribute and work together with operators, government, academia, and vendors, I mean, to drive the uptake of use cases for the benefit of people and businesses across the country. For example, we have recently introduced our Ericsson Educate program in University Technology Malaysia, UTM, to train thousands of Malaysian youth on 5G and advanced technologies. And everything starts with education. So we will continue to focus a lot on the education. To give you one practical example.
We know that you are covering a lot of markets, Malaysia included. Because of that, you have seen a lot of factors in terms of successful adoption by the respective markets. You've also seen some challenges that if you fail to navigate is going to hamper the 5G rollout in all these markets. Because of this, maybe you can share with us some factors that will enable us a successful adoption of 5G in Malaysia.
I mean, 5G is going very fast, as I said before. So in all countries where we have launched 5G, we see the adoption going faster than in any of the previous technology, 2G, 3G, and 4G. And we expect the same happening in Malaysia. So it is actually a great success. We have never seen an adoption of a technology being so fast as it is 5G. And then when it comes to Malaysia and the partnership with DNB, that's why also we have been accelerating as much as we could. And so that now we have 5G already available, right? And then the next target is to have 40% of the population covered already by the end of 2022, and then 80% by 2024, which is way ahead of the world average from an estimation point of view. So I think so far the experience has been very good from a 5G network rollout point of view. On top, Malaysia is coming to 5G exactly on time, because if you would have started 3 or 4 years ago, then obviously there was some immaturity in the technology. Instead, now the technology is very mature, so we can really leverage since day one on the capability of 5G and on the great spectrum, which will provide a great capacity, the ultra speed, the low latency. I think that will be just great, I believe, for Malaysia. So it's kind of spot on from a timing point of view.
There's a lot of conversation in terms of how foreign entities from a foreign country can help bring economic benefit for Malaysia and for Malaysians. Do you think there will be any economic benefits for Malaysia and Malaysians despite Ericsson being a foreign company?
Absolutely, right? Because we have been, as I said before, for example, I think we will use and hire, local subcontractors and of your local Malaysians, but we will not limit to that. We will work with academia, with the government, with all operators, obviously, in order to make sure that we develop use cases that are specific for Malaysia, because it's two components here. It's one component is to make sure that we do hire and use Malaysian company and people as much as we can, and that is obviously in our own interest, because that's what we do, right? We are a global company with a local component, which is usually super strong. But on the other end, also to make sure that we do help the country to really take the right decisions when it comes to the use cases, so that the country can really leapfrog. Because at the end, why we feel that it's so important that we deliver and we do a great job, because we believe that 5G will really help Malaysia to stay on the forefront of the innovation and to stay as a leading country in Asia.
You did mention just now about the rollout speed of 5G in Malaysia, 6 months. We've achieved so much, we've covered a lot of ground. But generally speaking, what is your view on the speed of 5G rollout in Malaysia vis-a-vis other markets that you're looking at right now?
I said it before, right? I think we did sign the contract, and the contract was awarded 6 months back. And in less than 6 months, we have a 5G network up and running, and we are obviously adding site as we speak. I think that's one of the fastest rollout I have seen. Obviously, 5G is a very sophisticated technology. So to bring everything up in few months using, obviously using our local people in Malaysia in a situation where COVID was not for sure helping, I think is an outstanding one. And also the dedication and the leadership from DNB has been outstanding. We have our Malaysian employee and colleague working 27. So for me, it's great work. Really great work. On my book, this is outstanding, which is obviously very promising for the future, so that we can meet the famous targets I was talking before, the 40% by end of 2022 and 80% by 2024. That will bring Malaysia to one of the best countries in the world when it comes to 5G coverage and technology.
Because of that, there's a lot of work that's going to be done for next year, or at least we're already in this year, 2022 already, Nunzio. Do you feel that this is going to be one of the more challenging years, not just for Ericsson, but for folks in Malaysia when it comes to technology rollout, network rollout? Do you feel that this is an impetus for us to move ahead and try to embrace better forms of adoption of technology? Use case scenarios are going to be exploding, I suppose, because of better network coverage. How do you think 2022 is going to shape up for us for this year?
No, I think you said it right. You said how challenging it is. Yeah, it is a challenging, but I also see very exciting actually, because after we did our start, which usually is the most difficult thing when you have to bring up new organizations and agree on the ways of working, and that has been passed. So now when we go enter into 2022, actually I see it. More on the exciting side than on the challenging side. So obviously, I mean, we cannot underestimate, never, the work that it is in front of us, and we will not. But I think I feel kind of excited rather than worried, because now we have been working very well on the ground, as I said before, with DNB, and we are accelerating, and it's much easier in a way, to be honest, than when we started 6 months ago. Sorry. So I'm very optimistic on that. I mean, I don't see a problem. And then, yeah, obviously it will be a lot of work. That's fine. That's our job. And we have a lot of good, company and people on the ground, great cooperation. So I'm optimistic. Super.
Okay, one key item that we really need to talk about is, of course, data security. It seems like in this day and age, data breaches is more of an eventuality, not a possibility anymore. How important is security, in your opinion, when it comes to building the 5G network in Malaysia? And will the DNB network be secure?
It's a great question, actually. I think, security is on top of our thoughts and agenda every day. And 5G will be used by consumers, but also from enterprises, much more than what has happened in the previous technologies. So network security is extremely important. And so for us, security is one of the cornerstones. And we are building network that is one that is trustworthy, resilient, and secure by design from day one, and not as an add-on feature. So absolutely, I mean, it's kind of extremely important one, and it's top focus on Ericsson and DNB. So it is basically embedded in our network already from day one.
Okay, we'll go for a short break before we conclude our conversation with Nunzio Mirtillo of Ericsson. Thanks for staying on with us. We have on the line, dialing in from Singapore, Nunzio Mirtillo, the head of market area Southeast Asia, Oceania, and India of Ericsson. Nunzio, what's interesting is that both of us are technically on leave, but it seems like both of us are quite literally working, and that is how things are, I suppose. Do you feel that 2020 and 2021 has redefined into how a person works? Do you feel that the future of 2022 and beyond is going to be a situation where we are always on, always productive, and perhaps we need to think about how we can spend more time with the family or spend a little bit more time away from work? Do you feel that work-life balance needs to be further looked at for this year?
No, I think that's a very interesting question, and actually we discuss about that in the society and in the company basically every day. It has been very, very special 2 years, 2020 and 2021, and I think obviously we are listening a lot to our employees and also our customers, trying to capture all insights. I think that what you said, the balance in life is extremely important, and I think that when we will be back in normal time, meaning without restrictions because of COVID, I think we have learned so much during these 2 years that we will try to make sure that we will work in a better way. And it's a lot of work we are doing in the company, also via, as I said before, via internal survey, so that we define the workplace of the future, and the way we want to interact as a company with our customers, and the way we want to interact with our colleagues. I think it will be different. I mean, at the same time, it's clear that we also miss the social interaction because of the restrictions we are living nowadays. But still, it is also clear that before we were maybe traveling too much, we were not really contributing to a sustainable world the way we should have.
That's right. That's a very good message, and that's a very good reminder. Nunzio, I really wish you all the best. Happy New Year. And to the good folks at Ericsson, all the best for 2022. To steal a line of yours just now, you don't view this as scary, you view this as exciting. I think that resonates a lot with us as well. COVID recovery is truly well and on the way. Right now, it's just to be productive as pre-COVID days. And of course, this is quite an interesting time. You have the honor of being our final interview for 2021 and of course the first interview for 2022. So Nunzio, Happy New Year and have a good year ahead.
Thank you. You have a great end of 2021 and even a better start of 2022. Happy New Year to you. Thank you.
That was Nunzio Mirtillo, Head of Market Area, Southeast Asia, Oceania and India at Ericsson. If you've missed any part of this interview, just head on to astroawani.com, look for Notepad over there. You can also look for Ericsson or DNB or 5G on all our social sites as well as our website at astroawani.com. My name is Ibrahim Sani and I wish all of you a Happy New Year.